To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Well, hello, Kingdom Team. Great to have you back with us. I'm Wade Heath, live from Burbank, just outside the Warner Brothers Media Studio District. Oh my gosh, so great to have you along with us, as always, as we connect you to more of what makes you happy. This is Kingdom Report Live. And today, I'm joined by some very great friends of mine from AttractionFaction.net, Katrina Manzone.
Hi, everybody.
And Tyler Crouch.
Hey, everyone.
Can't forget the man that makes the world turn, Mr. Curt Carlson.
How you doing, Wade?
Oh my God, Curt, can I tell you, on behalf of the nations that populate this earth, thank you for being here today.
Well, that's a very high honor that I don't know if I'll live up to, but thank you.
Every child on Small World is grateful that you're here as well.
Oh, well, again, I don't think I can live up to that. That's a lot of burden for me.
Yeah, it sure seems like it.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I know, it's that you can handle the weight of the world, hence this worldly discussion that we're having.
Oh, okay. Well, no.
Bless you.
Oh.
Bless you, sir. Happy Thanksgiving.
You're making me very nervous, Wade.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Thank you. You have a happy Thanksgiving, too.
I appreciate that. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all of you as we enter into a new Thanksgiving week, a week in which we give thanks here in America, and certainly a wonderful holiday at that. But this isn't the only team that we have for you here. No, because it is time, my friends, for another member of the team, usually live from Walt Disney World, but not this time. It's Garrett on the go. Let's go. And live from an undisclosed location, looks like a living room, but definitely on the go, is Garrett Hassel. Garrett, what's going on, man?
How's it going, everyone? I'm here on a top secret mission outside of Walt Disney World because this upcoming Monday is my girlfriend's birthday. So I had to leave Disney World to give my love to my love. So that's where I am today. But still excited to be a part of the show. Glad I can join you guys. And Curt, just like Wade said, the world does not run without you. No pressure at all.
Man, again, you guys are putting a lot of pressure on me, but I think I can handle it.
I hope you don't mess up today.
Well, I mean, after all of that, I can't.
World War III will commence. No doubt the children of the world will be very disappointed in you.
And they're Disney children, too, so that's even worse.
Yeah,
I got to live up to that.
They don't stop smiling. Yeah. Well, Garrett, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast with us today. It sounds like Epcot has had a lot going on as of late, especially when it comes down to construction. So you headed on out to Epcot itself earlier this week, and you captured a whole bunch of things for us. Why don't we take a look at some of that video, and you can sort of share with us what it was that you captured, what it was that you saw.
Absolutely. Epcot has been moving very, very fast. So this first shot that you're seeing is actually from the parking lot as you head into Epcot. And what you see right there, besides all the dirt, is that building in the background that almost blends in. That is the show building for the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, titled Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And the paint that's used on there is called Sky Blue, which allows it to blend in with the background. And then the other one is called
Go Away
Green. Go Away Green. Yeah, it's a paint that Disney's been utilizing for years that, while it doesn't completely hide it, it makes it move away. And now what we're zooming in on is the infrastructure of what's going in. That is going to be sort of the queue and the beginning of the ride, like launch area that's going on right there. You can't really see much in there. I didn't want to really hop over any fences this time. So That's the best I can do with the zoom on my camera, but nonetheless, this ride is going at an extremely fast pace, and it's truly amazing. Now, what you're looking at right here, this is actually the entrance of Epcot. I managed to sneak a peek over there, and you can see that is where the old Make-A-Wish fountain used to be. They're actually going to be redesigning that into a new fountain, similar to what you saw when Epcot first opened. It's going to have some glass or some metal beams on there, and then light is going to be projected up through it. So it's actually going to be more than just a fountain. It's actually going to be a photo location, which is truly amazing. And this whole area is just being worked on. They've removed all the Leave a Legacy plaques and stuff that was put in when the park first opened. So
yeah, all those monoliths seem to be gone. How nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Now, right here we are at Fountain View, and this is right next to Mouse Gears as well as Electric Umbrella. And this is an extremely congested area, as you can see. It wasn't even that busy, and it looks very congested just because you've got essentially 3 areas all converging at this one center point, and it's just very busy. You got Penn Central going on where people are still doing pin trading, and on the actual opposite side, they have the Photo Pass, which is going on, and this whole area is going to be is just going to be transformed. The coverings above are actually being removed. Like, you see how with Electric Umbrella you have those panels? Those have been slowly removed piece by piece. On that end, it's sort of fine, but on the end, sort of toward where Starbucks was, they've been taking them down. I believe they're going to be removing all of it completely to make it this new area, because this whole new area is going to be a Topia area of gardens and flowers and fountains, and it's simply going to be immaculate. And also in this area, it's going to be called Dreamers Point, and there's actually going to be a statue of Walt going on. So this is peeking over where the Fountain of Nations used to be. And fun fact, in this area, they actually used to have the nations participating in World Showcase. They poured their water into this, and so it's been completely cleared out. And since this has been filmed, they've done even more clearing of it. So they're going to be adding planters and little areas into here to make it simply more open, an area to travel to and from. They're going to actually have a wishing tree here, which I'm very, very curious as to what it's going to be. That's going to be a massive garden area that's going to connect to a 3-story festival center. Moving on, we are now at Guardians of the Galaxy ride. This is, again, going to be called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And the backstory is that Peter Quill, when he was a kid, he came to Epcot with his mom. And so that is why this is here at Epcot. It's sort of a stretch of a storyline, but it's still going to be amazing. This showroom used to be Epcot Universe of Energy. And since then, it has been completely gutted. The area right there, that is going to be where the queue is, where you'll actually have one of the Nova Corps ships out front. And then inside there's actually going to be 2 entrance queue area. There's going to be a line. They have a pre-show room, they have another showroom, and then finally into the launch vehicle. And the best thing about this attraction is it's using different ride technology, and it's going to be the first Disney coaster with a reverse launch, meaning you're not launching forward like you do on Rock and Roller Coaster and Expedition Everest. This one, you're going to be flipped around and launch backwards, and I have no doubt they're going to be playing some of the fantastic music that has been featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. So I'm truly looking forward to it. But yeah, this whole area is going to be transformed into something
Garrett,
more.
if I can interject just a bit, it looks like those walls have been pushed all the way out to Mission Space side. I mean, that's an incredible, huge back section of the park there that seems to be cordoned off by walls. What are we looking at here?
So this is actually going to be the new Space 220 restaurant. It's going to be a restaurant that is operated by the Bettina Restaurant Group. It's a group that operates many restaurants at Disney World. And the story of this is you and your family and friends are going, and you're going to be eating 220 miles above Earth's surface in space. And there you see the sky blue and the go away green being used. But recent news has come up where this has been pushed back. The opening was supposed to be, and I believe December. It's been pushed back to February 2020 because the executive chef dropped out of it. So that's that. But now here we are at the entrance of World Showcase, and this is actually going to be a bathroom or restroom that's going to be utilized. The former one used to be next to like the refreshment corner, but it just got too congested. So they built this as a way of having a nice clean bathroom, nice clean open area. And a lot of guests thought it was going to be a shop or some kind of festival location, but no, this is going to be a new restroom that allows for a lot of getting in and out and out. And then finally, we are here overlooking France from the Skyliner, and here you can see just the construction going on in the French Pavilion. What that you're going to be doing is, as a guest, you'll be walking down the streets of France, and then into this area, you'll be able to go to the Creperie restaurant. That's going to be opening. It's going to be a lot bigger than the small show that is, or the small shop that is currently in the French Pavilion. But the main ticket attraction is going to be, excuse me, the Ratatouille ride. And in French, it is L'Aventure tout le monde tout de Remy. If they actually keep that name, I think it would be fantastic. If they don't, it's probably just going to be Ratatouille the Ride, Remy's Zany Adventure, or something like that. But you can see some of the queue lines, and then I believe one of these buildings is where the Creperie restaurant is going to be. Me, I love crepes. Crepes are really thin pancakes, but they're delicious. I like mine with ham and cheese. That's my crepe right there.
Well, that's excellent. So, Garrett, just in taking a look at sort of everything that you covered there in terms of all of the different footage, everything that you captured, from what I understand, the Fountain View, Starbucks, former Starbucks location that was right there, sort of off the center spine behind Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball, as many people know it, that has been demolished. It sounds like in the last day or so. So, just a couple days ago is when you filmed all this, and now that's gone even. So, a lot of things keep changing. And France does look, I mean, from this perspective, that's a huge expansion on that backside. I wonder, guys, what it's going to be like when it comes to the forced perspective of the Eiffel Tower, because for so long that Eiffel Tower has been put back at a distance to make it look like, forced perspective, that it's a real Eiffel Tower, that it's, off in the distance, that it looks like it's big. And now people are going to be able to walk around this building. I wonder if potentially we're going to be seeing the Eiffel Tower be relocated.
It could
be.
Yeah,
oh,
I can see that.
Sorry.
Do you know, Garrett?
So just before the show began, I was doing some background research, and from the pictures that Disney has released on the concept art of it, the Eiffel Tower is going to remain right there on top of one of the, I believe that's the French reflections. They're going to leave the Eiffel Tower there, and they're not going to push it back at all. It's just sort of going to stay where it is, which it sort of seems wonky because the Eiffel Tower is in the middle of a giant grass area. I would think that they would push it back even more, maybe behind the attractions and the expansion, but who knows? But that area looks like it's going to be a single street sort of thing, so it might get really congested in there. So I'm wondering how that's going to work out, because it's only one way in, one way out.
Yeah, no outlet.
You can't you can't walk around and go into, say, Morocco. You're just going to be sort of stuck in France. So
as
it could have a little congestion.
And as we've learned from prior lands that only have one way in and out, that is a recipe for potential madness and great guest frustration. But the whole expansion of Epcot and everything that's underway here, are you guys looking forward to this? Are you excited?
I'm excited. I really want to ride that Ratatouille ride.
I can't wait for it too.
I'm excited. I've had the pleasure of riding Ratatouille out there in Paris, and I don't want to be a downer. It wasn't my favorite ride.
Oh.
It had some issues with it that I feel like they could fix, and I'm hoping they fix when it comes over to Florida. But other than that, I'm excited for the expansion of all of the World Showcase. I mean, it seems like everything is going to get little upgrades here and there eventually. So that's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that Space 220 restaurant. I mean, obviously that was supposed to open, as Garrett mentioned, this year. It was supposed to open in
I was
winter.
really looking forward to it too. When
Same
we were going
here.
out in December, I was like, it might open.
Yeah.
When we're there, not anymore.
I mean, the concept art makes it look absolutely incredible, and now we're waiting until February. If they do not open it on February 20th, 2020, I'm going to be very disappointed.
That would be really, Maybe they realized that was like what they should have done, and then they said like they lost their executive chef as an excuse.
I mean, I knew just by taking a look, that restaurant, even exterior wise, that is not ready to go. So you can say you lost your chef. That building isn't finished.
No.
You can't open that.
Yeah.
You couldn't have opened by winter. There must have been a
Did
setback.
they even hire the cast members and stuff like for the restaurant? So I think their excuse is kind of nah.
I mean, maybe that was a part of it, but
Yeah, we walked by it a few months ago, actually, and you could still see the cinder blocks being like erected on it. Like it was not even an enclosed building at that point. So they must be behind on the building schedule. They have to be.
Perhaps a little too ambitious, but I appreciate, Garrett, very much you taking us through some of the Epcot construction updates there. It looks like not only are you going to be joining us here a little bit later on for several more segments, but on top of that, you have something of holiday cheer headed our way later this week. Is that right?
Yes, I do. So, very excited to talk about this. So last week, I had the amazing opportunity to go to Disney's Hollywood Studios and get to experience it in all its holiday wonder and all that good stuff. And I checked out all the stuff that we talked about on a previous show. I checked out Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, Toy Story Land, and just the other parts of Hollywood Studios. And
30.
I did a review on what I thought of it, and I got some awesome shots. You got to check out the fireworks show, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, and that is a great show. It really is. I love that show. And I had a great time. So on Thursday, be ready to see some holiday splendor in my review of Hollywood Studios Holidays.
Well, it certainly looks like you are prepared for the holidays already. I mean, your open fire, your Christmas tree there, everything is just beautiful, well appointed, very nice. So our thanks to your lady of love, Ariel, for allowing us into her home and to be able to talk to you here today. But we will see you in just a little bit as you return.
See you then.
All right.
All right, see ya.
It's time for more news, trending, countdown time. Let's go. All the top stories of the week, everything that we need to cover for you, we package up in the Trending Countdown. And on today's broadcast, we start with Katrina. It sounds like early morning magic is getting that royal treatment.
It is. So pretty much Magic Kingdom is putting on an event starting February 11th, 2020 through March 3rd, 2020. There's 8 magical events throughout that day. And so it's to kind of celebrate the 70th anniversary of the animated film Cinderella. And this is not to be confused with the extra magic hours that hotel guests get to utilize. So pretty much it's $89 for adults, $79 for children to come at. I had to do a little bit more research than what they posted on Disney Park blog because I wanted to know more about this because it was really confusing. So pretty much, you get in at 7:45 in the morning, or 7:30 you check in, 7:45 you head into Fantasyland, and from there you get to actually experience some Fantasyland rides like Prince Charming Regal Carousel, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan's Flight, the Princess Fairy Tale Hall, It's a Small World, and the Mad Tea Party and Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. Those are the only rides that are available at this time. And then you get breakfast at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe, and breakfast starts from 8 to 10. Here's when it starts getting a little sticky. So it's like the main. So for this, you have to pay $89 or $79 for your child on top of your pass to get in, a normal admission. So you have to pay double for this event. Normal park admission starts at 9 a.m. and they also are allowed to get into Fantasyland. So your event is technically from 8 to 10, but people start coming in at 9. So you only get an hour and 15 minutes to enjoy Fantasyland without anybody else there. And then you get breakfast until 10. On top of this, you get to see some favorite characters like Cinderella. She's going to be actually in the Princess Fairy Tale Hall. Then around the park, around Fantasyland, you'll see Susie, Perla, Fairy Godmother, Drizella, Anastasia, and then Prince Charming. So you get to see some characters, but I don't know. This is an interesting kind of maneuver that they're going to do. I don't think they've ever done an early magic hour like this before, have they?
I mean, not
I'm trying to
double
remember.
themed like that. That's for sure. Yeah, it seems like an interesting twist to try and regenerate interest in something that, from what I understand, wasn't panning out so well. You upcharge these early morning events to try and get people in as an extra ticket price and, sort of padding that bottom line. And it looks like what was happening was people weren't all that interested because it's that short time frame, right?
Yeah.
So it's so little. And we go back to many years ago where this used to be free for hotel guests, right? You used to be able to get in early for these sorts of morning extra magic hours. And I mean, they've tweaked the names back and forth as to what the paid version's called and what hotel guests that stay at Walt Disney World experience. But now it sounds like, okay, they have to throw some extras in there just to generate that interest to come back. Do you think it's worth it price-wise?
No, absolutely not. I don't know. I was like reading it at first and I was like, oh, 8 to 10, that seems kind of cool for 2 hours if you can't get Seven Doors Mine Train, because that's like a hard fast pass to kind of get for people, especially if you aren't a hotel guest and you get 60 days in advance versus 30 days for non-resort guests. But then you start researching it and I was like, wait, you only get an hour and 15 minutes before the park guests. So at that point, don't go to breakfast. Go to breakfast last. And then, I don't know if anybody wants to hear the breakfast choice items.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody? Okay, cool. So there are scrambled eggs, smoked bacon, sausage, breakfast potatoes, pancakes, freshly baked pastries, cheese and cured meats. That sounds gross. Cured meats, seasonal fruit, oatmeal granola, yogurt, assorted juices, coffees, and tea. So
hell of a continental breakfast.
that is, I was like, I don't know about this. So it doesn't really seem, and they say that's on their article that it's special themed food that's available. And then I started reading this and I was like, well, this isn't very specially themed.
Sounds pretty generic.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if your kids really love Cinderella and get to see all the characters. So I would say if you're a character person, maybe it might be worth it for you to go see Cinderella and try to find the characters that are going to be roaming around Fantasyland. But if you're there for the rides, I mean, A Small World is usually a 5-minute wait anyway. So I don't think that it's really worth it if you're like a ride goer.
I just feel like the whole thing sounds disingenuous to me. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, till 10 o'clock. But then in reality, everybody else gets in at 9. And then also, oh, yeah, specially themed breakfast. And it's like, here's some scrambled eggs and sausage. Shut up. So, like, I don't know. It seems weird on what are we doing here. I guess it's the characters is the main thing, because it's like, what? And you made a point earlier. I don't want to steal your thunder, but you made a point.
You can't steal my
I'm going to take it.
Sharing is caring.
You made a point earlier where if you had like a family of 4 or something like that, it would behoove you to just possibly go get a hotel room. Get that hotel room. It's going to be cheaper than paying all of your people to go to this event, and then you'll get extra magic hours.
Yeah, for a family of 4, if you have 2 adults, 2 kids, you can get like a cheap room for maybe around $250, especially in February. You can get a cheaper room, and then you can get fast passes 60 days in advance. So you can get Seven Doors Mine Train if you really wanted to. So it might be worth it to do it that way. And then I'm sure they're still doing extra magic hours. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked that far in advance, but I'm sure they still kind of do that too. So you can actually get to go to the park early. So I don't really think it would be worth it for a family of 4 unless you really love characters and.
But I mean, hey,
rides.
It's an option. It's out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump coast. So from Orlando on over to Anaheim. What's going on in downtown Disney?
Okay, so Disneyland is creating a Let It Glow Trees theme. Oh my God, I'm gonna smack this. So get your glow on at downtown Disney District, where all around the Disneyland Resort Enhancement and Horticulture team decided to install these brand new displays of big, bold, bright, colorful trees all around downtown Disney District. And it started actually yesterday, November 22nd, until January 6th. And they installed 200 UV glow trees. And then they're solid colored trees with like a fluorescent shade. And they range from 15 feet tall to 4 feet tall. And they're in shades of blue, green, yellow, orange, and pink, which we saw them and when they were installing them, and I'm like,
what is that?
Ooh, I don't get this. And then we saw these like weird halos in the tree. So they're trying to kind of do a different twist instead of a classical Christmas tree. No ornaments, no tinsel, nothing. Just a beautiful fluorescent tree. I don't know if it's beautiful, but
beautiful. Yeah, that's an interesting word to use.
A bright fluorescent tree. And then they also installed 70 glow rings in the ficus trees around downtown Disney. So when they light up at night, it'll kind of add to that cool, like bright fluorescent kind of thing to the trees. On top of that, they actually added 10,000 individual plants, 30 topiaries, and planters that, in the planters. And then they installed 24 hanging baskets filled with poinsettias. I'm gonna say this wrong. What is it called?
I don't know.
I don't know. What does that say? I researched it earlier and I don't
Cyclamen?
even. Yeah.
I don't know.
Cyclamen. I'm like, how do you say this?
I don't know what that is.
And Dusty Miller. It's cyclamen. It's like those I don't know. They're like little flowers. I Googled it, but then I forgot because they are weird. That was weird. I was like, I don't know what these are. Anyway.
For anybody listening, it's basically like Disney, Christmas, and laser tag all got together.
Yeah, they pretty much.
And they created this display.
It's a little weird. These ring halos in the tree with the. I don't know what they're trying to do.
I mean, at least Downtown Disney, it seems like in the last couple of years in particular, has really tried to become a destination where something unique happens every season. And they're trying to draw people in, I guess, with a little bit more of a unique offering, whether that be through entertainment or design. We've seen a lot of unique designs.
They definitely did that abstract character
like the abstract
thing.
stuff.
They did these abstract topiaries where you literally had to stand in the right spot to see the character. So if you looked at it wrong, Goofy looked like he was torn
bunch of
apart,
weird shit.
And then if you look together, he comes together again.
At the right angle.
It's really crazy. So I get what they're trying to do, but I don't know. I think it looks better at night. Yeah. I saw some pictures. They look better at night than in the day. Yeah. But
I do love how they have been for the past couple years now been plussing up Disney downtown. I almost said Disney Springs, downtown Disney. It's been really cool that each season you see some new stuff come up, and for a while they were kind of taking it was like, oh, now it's Halloween. They took these little pumpkin trees and they put the pumpkins in it, and then you get to Christmas and there's no more pumpkins in the trees. It's like, oh no, okay, they're kind of reusing stuff, but now they're actually starting to make everything more unique, more its own. So
it makes me want to go visit Disney. I'm gonna say Disney Springs, downtown Disney. It actually makes me want to go see it more and walk up and down just to see kind of
it makes each season exclusive.
The new stuff. Yeah, in the summer, I always love hibiscus is my favorite flower, so I'd always walk around downtown Disney and be like, oh my God, look at that cute little hibiscus tree. Oh my gosh, look at that color. And it's amazing what the horticulture team does to make it so alive.
And this year it'll be things you can't pronounce.
And this
time of
I
year,
can't even say it again. Cyclamen. It's a weird flower. Google it.
we gotta get you to go take some pictures next to the cyclamen. I think that'll be great.
I think that should. Yeah, I'll do that.
You and your best friend. All right. Well, continuing on in Disneyland this week, huge announcement and concept art release. Disneyland's new look for the entry of Tomorrowland. As part of Project Stardust, the Disneyland Resort, and specifically Disneyland Park, has been undergoing numbers of enhancements to continue and to try and deliver a world-class guest experience. The enhancements have ranged from overall beautification of the theme park to maximizing guest flow. The latest of these efforts include a new entrance for Tomorrowland. If you're in the parks this holiday season, you'll notice work is currently underway, and a new look, the Disney Parks blog says, will be completed in 2020. Now, we just posted there for you the concept art and design, and if we can go back to it for just a second. This image dictates, and first of all, I'd like to point out, as our friends at Mice Chat did, if you zoom in on this image at all, if you can scroll in on it when you're taking a look at it on a computer, you'll notice that the art comes from an era where the rocket rods were still in place. There's a rocket rod behind the Astro Orbiter just in front of us. So I don't know why the Walt Disney Imagineering team decided that was worth plussing up and adding a design to, especially when it's so old.
I saw that too, but let's take a look though. I mean, is it a rocket rod or is it one of the rockets from the Astro Orbiter?
It sure looks like a rocket rod.
You think it's a rocket rod?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was really looking at it and I was like, it almost looks like it could be one of the Astro Orbiter rockets, but
it might be. I mean, but the colors palette here is also very 1998 of when all that began.
Sure. I think that you can kind of assume that most of the things that are highlighted in gold in this picture are going to be changed in the next few years.
Boy, I sure hope so. Yeah. I mean, because this whole entrance, just in taking that first look at it, obviously things clash terribly. I mean, I don't know when they talk about how inspirational this all looks. The first glance I took at it was, what are they doing? You know,
I don't like the flowers.
It's
or
very
like
odd. The color choice
reminds me of
and-
Guardians of
it-
the Galaxy, like how they're trying to use those colors, like the gold and the blue. I don't like it.
Again, I think that I really do think that this is the first step, and they have major plans to change the rest of Tomorrowland.
And I would be comfortable with that
Yeah.
if they said that.
Yeah,
But
right,
they
sure,
have not
sure.
indicated that this is anything else that there's anything else that's going to change behind it, but that this is like the new entry. And by the way, when they removed the rock work, the French fries, as many people call them, the rock work that was always in the way of your entrance to Tomorrowland, and definitely in the way of every parade and every fireworks show, it just got in the way. It didn't do anything,
Right.
you know, for anyone. Now they've removed it. As of right now, it's just some panels of grass,
Yeah.
right? Just
Right.
little grassy knolls. And it's very nice. I think it's like wide open and very.
I saw people laying on it the
Yeah.
last time we were there. I'm like, okay, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, why did you add planters or like the grass? Because everybody's gonna walk on it and
Yeah.
trample over it. Or they're gonna have to put like a ring around it so no one goes in, but someone's gonna go in to try to watch the parade. I think they should have just leveled it and made it more walking room.
Yeah.
So people could
more
stand and
space.
watch the parade, or make more room where people
Yeah.
can walk around.
I think in my like, I have two minds about it, because I want there to be nothing in the way. I want there to be let's just walk right into Tomorrowland.
Absolutely.
There should be nothing here. But then the other part of me says, but every other land has some type of framing.
Sure.
And Tomorrowland, if we just wrecked the whole front of Tomorrowland, there would literally be no frame to get in there. It used to be the People Mover track, but now that they put Astro Orbiter out in front of it, it's changed that. So I don't know. A big part of me is just like, why couldn't they just tear the whole thing down? Just get rid of everything. But then the other part of me, again, says it would look kind of weird without something that said Tomorrowland in the front, or that showed you this gateway to this other world, you know? So
Would
they
you want
kind
what
of-
they
they're-
have in Disney World, like the archway that says Tomorrowland?
well, sure, at least there's a bridge and everything. Like the difference with Disney World and Land is that everything is so on top of each other at Land. In World, Tomorrowland is all the way back there. It's pushed far back across a bridge. At Disneyland, it's right on Main Street. So if you don't have any planters or anything there, it's like, where does Main Street end and
Sure.
Tomorrowland begin, you know? So I get why they have to have something there. It just, I wish that the park wasn't so crowded, I guess. Is
Sure.
really, you know, I mean.
Well, and that style clash, certainly of the new design versus what's old behind it is also sort of an issue for me. I mean, take a look at that, and I think it's nice to have a nod to the past, which is what those sort of little spire-looking things are,
Sure.
just beyond the planners. But you know, you take a look at something like that, and you think, all right, well, I mean, that was nice in 1960, and if the rest of Tomorrowland was going to go back to that, that would be cool, but there's no indication that that's what's happening, and so it's a little frustrating to see that we tore something out just to put something back in that I'm not any more thrilled about and is going to get in the way.
Sure. I guess, you know, you're right. I wish they would have said more to us about what their plan was, because at this point we don't know, but if you really think about Disneyland right now, and think about where expansion could happen, because you know they have to keep expanding. They can't stop now. Tomorrowland is the place.
I sure hope so.
Tomorrowland is the place that needs the most help,
Yeah.
you know? And I know I've heard a lot of rumblings about Fantasyland things happening and stuff like that, and maybe that's true. But Fantasyland doesn't need as much help as Tomorrowland does, if you ask me. I mean, Tomorrowland has right now they're playing a High School Musical, the musical preview in Tomorrowland.
Unheard of.
I mean...
Yeah.
and then like
Spit on theming. Yeah, who
like,
cares?
really? Well, I mean, and even the launch bay, the Star Wars launch bay, is closed for half of the day. You know,
Right.
it's like it's kind of embarrassing. I
Yeah.
mean, we have tracks that go around that do nothing. Like it's the world of yesterday at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of sad, but
Yeah, when I saw that High School Musical, the series preview being played there, I was so mad I could have spit. I mean, I was just so angry that they would think that was an appropriate place to put that. When you have a Hollywood backlot section in California Adventure with the Fill Our Magic screen that they always put previews in anyway, it couldn't go there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, you
Do
couldn't
you really
put it in
need
there.
to put it anywhere?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I mean, just bring Captain Neo back or something. Like,
Right.
I mean, I never really particularly liked it, but I know you did.
Do something Disney-esque.
Put Star Wars back in
Yeah.
there. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I like that made more sense than High School Musical, the musical. I mean, can you tell I'm angry about that? But
A little bit
No,
frustrated.
I can't tell at all.
And Curt, what do you think about this new design? I mean, you're a Disneylander yourself. What sticks out to you about it?
Well, I'm definitely glad they're doing something because I get frustrated. Those French fry rocks, again, they get in the way.
Yeah.
It just wedges everybody in, trying to get in and out of there. Usually I'll just go back by where Matterhorn is to get into Tomorrowland if I can because I feel like a herd of cattle going in there sometimes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I don't like that feeling, especially after a parade or fireworks. Fireworks, everyone's trying to leave the park and the whole place is just crowded. We'll just chill somewhere or, go into the Star Wars launch bay if it was still, open, which it closes, I think, at 7 or 8
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
it's
night.
early.
Yeah, it's like,
They need to get rid of it. But my question, so on the picture, the art, where is Astro Blasters? So they planted a tree in front of it, right? So
well, you can see
are
the
they
you can
can I see the
the
tip?
Yeah, you can see the
Okay.
entrance. It's that one gold part on the left-hand side of Astro Orbiter.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you
Because I
can-
was I'm like, where is this? Where are these bushes? I've never
mean,
looked
it is
at
1998.
Tomorrowland and
I don't know.
seen all these bushes over there before, unless they're trying to plant them in front of Astro Blasters or something. But I don't know. Anyway.
Well, interesting future in every pun sort of way. We will see what happens with that redesign and what happens in the coming weeks and months as we move into 2020 and that develops. Moving on here, Disneyland takes the very first step towards building a 12-story Disney Vacation Club timeshare tower. They announced this yesterday. If you're watching live, they announced this on Friday. Disneyland submitted an application on Friday, November 22nd to the city of Anaheim for conceptual development, a big review of a new 350-room Disney Vacation Club tower. While Disney has not yet set an opening date, the new Disney Vacation Club project is not expected to be completed before 2022. The look and theme of the new tower will complement the classic 1955 Disneyland Hotel. DVC Project Tower area is located on a grassy area between South Walnut Street and the Disneyland Hotel's Frontier Tower, alongside the swimming pool and convention center. It is a big grassy knoll area. You'll see from this map that we've designed for you here, the expansion site is there in red, and then down below in the right corner, you'll notice that it says Textile Services. Now, this is obviously from above. Taking a look down, you'll see the pools and sort of the recreational facilities there in the middle. That area right there, that's a hard stop area. Okay, so the reason for that red space, they can't do anything beyond that unless they uproot everything underground as well. The Textile Services area there in the corner goes deep underground, and that's where all the laundry facilities are, everything for any of our guests that come to Disneyland. Anytime they want their sheets done, their bedspreads taken care of, their pillowcases, your towels, that all goes underground to a facility that's massive underneath everything, and that facility on top helps to ventilate and move everything water-wise and ingredient-wise that's needed for keeping things clean and the whole resort running. So unless there's a plan to move that space, that red spot is the only area where this tower can go, based on everything that they have said. Now, if they wanted to move a tower alongside the Frontierland Tower, which is at the sort of center portion of your screen, just above the red, if they wanted to move it into the parking lot that's currently downtown Disney parking, they could certainly do that. And then that orange building there off to the far right, that's the receiving center for the resort, as well as offices and the Disney Vacation Club epicenter, if you will. So Disney Vacation Club has their sort of show building there, as well as some various other support facilities. So that can always be moved, but it's a hard stop where the blue square is. Now, this is exciting news, guys. Having a vacation club property being developed on the existing Disneyland Hotel site after we lost the hotel
I'm glad
a
they
year
lost
or so
it.
ago. Right, yeah.
I'm really glad they lost it. But I'm excited for this. But I think they're trying to do that because the hotel they were trying to build was supposed to be partly for DVC. And then they really need DVC people to actually start buying there because apparently I've heard there's not that much for Disneyland and Grand Californian. Yep. So I know they need this, but if they do this, though, they really need to step up their game for the Disneyland Hotel, and they really need to refurbish those rooms.
And I think they will. I think they'll. If I had to guess, these rooms are going to look different. They're already planning what they're going to look like. They're going to look different than the rest of the hotel, and I think they're going to change the rest of the hotel to be like this new tower. I would hope so.
I mean,
anyway.
I'm sure they're going to buy like a whole bunch of stuff, and then as soon as they start building it, they're just going to start refurbishing all the other
that's
hotel
what I'm
rooms.
assuming, and that's what I'm hoping.
Which makes sense, but
that's exactly what they do in Disney World all the time. They build an expansion to a hotel, and then they start upgrading the rest of the rooms around. So
that's true.
I mean, I could definitely see them doing that, and I hope they do. I'm just kind of bummed out from just a perspective of a little kid who got to see the dancing water shows over there in that area. If for anybody that doesn't know, they used to have a little baby World of Color type of show out there at Disneyland Hotel, and the water would spray and they'd play all the Disney music. It was great. They got rid of it. I was sad, but at least I could go walk by and see the stage still. Now they're gonna demolish the whole thing. So, but I think it's really cool though, and I'm not a DVC person, but I'm happy for them. So
when this was released yesterday, I saw so many people in my Facebook feed already saying like, "Well, there's my next investment," and they're gonna try to start buying that too, which is good for them.
I mean, it's definitely great to hear that more rooms are on the way.
Yeah.
Of course, that means more jobs for Anaheim, and definitely more opportunities for additional magic to be sprinkled into the resort area. So thrilled to hear that announcement from Disney. Tyler, it sounds like Disney Plus has had some issues this week.
Yeah. So, we haven't had any issues, so that's good. But apparently, apparently it's been hacked. Which is to say that for people who have been using the same, so when you sign up for Disney Plus, you can use your current Disney account sort of, and you can use that same password and everything. And I guess people who have been using that same account for multiple different Disney things, somehow they claim that their data has been intercepted, and now they are not able to sign into Disney Plus, things like that. They've had issues signing into all their Disney things. Disney still says there's been no breach. So I'm confused. I read this story a couple times and I'm like, I don't know. People say they're hacked. Disney says they're not. I don't really know what else to say about it than that.
That if it is apparently that, I guess it was done through third-party means potentially.
Sure, yeah.
But that, you're right. Disney's putting up that force field of nope, not us.
And honestly, they cannot afford to mess around with this right now. So if they don't think they've been hacked, if they're telling they're telling us all they haven't been hacked, they really believe that. They're not just pulling the wool over people's eyes. They really don't think they've been hacked. So you have to kind of believe them at a certain point. I don't know. It seems like some of these people maybe made their own mistake, but at the same time, we don't know how many people are coming out saying they've been hacked. So it's hard to say how many people are just making a mistake, how many people have actually been affected by this.
That whole user error thing when it comes to technology is pretty prevalent. Just ask my parents.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you mean. So
maybe they changed the password or something in their My Disney experience because they're supposed to be connected, right? And so then they can't log into their other ones. They thought they've been hacked. I don't know.
I mean, to have it happen to so many people though, and to be hearing this across the country, from individuals is very interesting. I'm sure we'll definitely learn more about that.
'Cause I guess if you change your password on Disney Plus, you're changing your password on all of your Disney things.
Yeah.
So people are getting confused by that, I think, and not realizing that they're using the wrong password now. I don't know exactly what's happening, but
well, in other Disney Plus news, there's something else going on. Why don't you share that with us? Some good news.
So Sterling K. Brown, everybody knows he was in Frozen 2 recently. He was in Black Panther.
This Is Us.
Yeah, This Is Us. He's in. So he's actually going to be the narrator for a new Disney Plus feature documentary called One Day at Disney, which I'm very excited about.
Same here.
It's going to have 10 different episodes, I believe, or at least they're going to be highlighting 10 specific people who do different roles around the Disney company, and it's going to be all through the eyes of Bob Iger, I guess. So I'm really curious to see how this goes. Like I said, Sterling K. Brown's going to be narrating. And it just seems like it's going to be incredible because, we were lucky enough to do some work with cast members a while back to try and highlight their jobs. I know that on Disneyland's YouTube and stuff, they will do every role a starring role, things like that. I think it's great to get out there and show, guests and all these people who makes the magic happen. Sure. I mean, that's they always say like you don't want to see how the sausage is made, but I want to see how this sausage is made.
I'm sure it'll be quite sanitized as everything Disney produces is. So.
Well, but you're right. But it's been interesting. I feel like the Imagineering story has said a little more than I expected them to say.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they kind of go forward and just let's air out a little bit of dirty laundry and just be honest, because everybody knows that it's there. So very excited for this show. It's supposed to air December 3rd, so that's very close. And
it is really close. I'm really excited now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really cool show, and I hope we get to see some dudes scuba diving with some hippos or something.
Yeah, bring out the floss, floss their teeth, brush their teeth.
Yeah.
The green water.
Spit and
yeah,
wash.
in the green water.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, it's already peppermint, isn't it?
It is.
What is green? Spearmint. I don't know.
A spearmint.
What is green?
Right. And your toxic fuzz as you get out.
Yeah.
So well,
I'm
can't wait to
excited.
see that as well.
Yeah.
Come on, horticulture. I want to see what they do. They do so many things around Disneyland. No one even knows.
The unsung heroes of the resort.
Yeah.
You bet. Well, that concludes the news for this round. Stick around. More Kingdom Report Live straight ahead.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Disney list time is among us, which means we have a total countdown of something that we either love or maybe don't like so much. But here today with our Disney list for the top 3 favorite Disneyland park attractions. We've heard from Katrina. Now we're going to hear from our own Garrett Hassel, who is at an undisclosed location once again in a warm, Christmassy environment ahead of Thanksgiving. He's one of those people, apparently, which is fine.
Yeah.
We'll allow it.
It's a good thing there's a vent above that fireplace there.
Yeah.
Imagine what could happen to the ceiling. Yeah, my gosh. Well, Garrett, let's dive into it. Top 3 favorite Disneyland park attractions. What do you got?
Okay, before we begin, just so you know, I designed my own infographic. We've got, boom, Garrett Super Happy Fun Magical Top 3 Disneyland Attractions. Woo!
Wait.
Whoa.
We barely saw it before it cut off. I'm sorry. One more time.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
That's some arts and
Garrett
crafts right
Super
there.
Happy Fun Magical Top 3 Disneyland Attractions. You wouldn't think I have any experience doing any sort of graphics. I don't.
Yeah.
That's just me messing around. But
Well, let me
I
tell
would
you.
have never
let's
guessed.
get into
Yeah. It's obvious now.
But before we begin, my number 3 was the hardest decision for me because I was debating between like 3 or 4 options, but I finally nailed it down. So let's begin. Number 3.
Oh, he's going all out. I like this.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm going with one that is sort of gets pushed by the wayside. Oftentimes people walk by it. Disneyland being my home park. I didn't get to experience this until I was a little older, but my number 3 is the Storybook Land Canal Boat.
No.
I like that.
Yes, I love it because it's such a unique concept, and the thing that makes or breaks it is the cast member that is narrating the story.
Absolutely.
From the beginning, where you hop on a sort of bouncy, wobbly boat, and then you go through the mouth of Monstro, and then you go around all these wonderful little Disney like settings. I just love it, and at night I find it to be even more magical because you've got like twinkling lights, you've got the lighting effects on the attraction, and for me it's just, I think it's very, very cute. And when you're with someone that you love, it's very romantic, and you just want to get all close and snuggle with them and just be like, look at all that, and even sometimes the jokes are really, really cute, cool. But I love Storybook Land Canals. I've never experienced another attraction like it. The only thing similar would be like the Jungle Cruise, but Storybook Land Canals, I think it's just a cute thing that No, I think it makes Disneyland so unique and magical.
I mean, it's sweet and underrated. I definitely think
it's even cuter when there's little baby duckies in the water. I love it going in the spring and you see
monster ducks,
little
that
monster
traipse
ducks,
through
like
the
little baby
dioramas.
ducks over by Ariel's area. Like I love it.
How do you feel about the addition of Arendelle, Garrett?
Like it's. You can't say that Frozen hasn't been successful because it's one of the most successful franchises now that Disney's ever taken. And I like it. I think it's cute. It definitely adds to that. And I've heard a joke because where it's positioned, the Matterhorn's behind it, and the cast member, he or she will say like, all right, so did you know that in the Arendelle section, you can actually see the Matterhorn? Can you tell which mountain it is? It's the giant one behind it, and so it just makes you all be like, "Wow!" So I like it. I think it adds a little bit to it. I don't remember what was in that area before, but I think it's really cute, and just like the little stories and little things here and there about it. I think special cast members have to work there because you have to have the ability to storytell. You can't, even though it's scripted, you can't just do it if you're just like Peter Pan, Aladdin. Cinderella, like you have to have that sort of that storytelling aspect that Walt had within himself. So that's my number 3.
It used to be the old mill, by the way, the old mill from Silly Symphony. That was what Arendelle used to be. Anyway,
rest in peace.
Yes,
old mill.
Yeah.
How about number 2?
Number 2.
Oh, now I know which number it is. Good.
Yes. My number 2. This was the one that actually helped me fall in love with Disneyland, and it is one of the best attractions ever made. It was the last one that Walt truly got to work on, Pirates of the Caribbean. I love it because from the beginning, when you enter the area, you're like, where are we going? Because you're entering this building, and then you go inside and you see all the old portraits of pirates, past and present. And then you go to the dock, and then you board, and then you go through the bio, and it's just amazing storytelling. It's like what Tyler and Katrina have said in the past, and even you, Wade, where you're just like, the suspense is building. You're like, what's going on? I'm just floating through a little bayou, and then you see an old man playing a guitar or napping, and then you see the talking pirate head, and then from there, it's just like let's do this thing. And I love it because the audio animatronics look so lifelike, and when you're a little kid, you feel like you're a pirate. You're like, you want to go you want to be a pirate and do all things pirates do. Granted, they don't do good stuff, but that's just how great the story is behind this attraction.
Makes you want to do all the bad stuff that a pirate does.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree with you, and it's an attraction that I went on earlier this week just because every time I pass by it, I think, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like, it's totally worth it every single time. I don't care how many times I've experienced it. It makes you, it wraps you in its story, and you leave going, I can't believe I just saw all that again, and it's still fresh for me every time I go on a million times later.
Yeah.
It's amazing for being a ride that's like mostly underground. It feels so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere it feels like alive. You know, you're like living in it's like they had a cartoon jump off a page almost because all these guys, you know, they have the highly exaggerated features and stuff. But especially when I was a kid, I just felt like this is like never ending, you know, which
stands
cool.
the test of time.
Yeah.
It really does.
Sure. Yeah, pretty spectacular. Well, that brings us to your top choice. What is it?
Number 1, my number 1 choice is the attraction that made me want to originally become a mechanical engineer and actually be an Imagineer for Disney. Granted, I failed Calc 2 in college and made me realize maybe math and my strong suit, but the attraction is Indiana Jones Adventure. I cannot get enough of this. It's not out here at Disney World or at Walt Disney World. So whenever I go to Disneyland, I have to get my fix. It just has everything. Like riding this, when I first went on this when I was a young kid, only been out for a couple of years, I got off and I was just like, how did they do that? How did they make the boulder come towards you? Like, you don't even see the show building. You walk on and you truly feel like you're there. Indy's there. You've got the voice of Mara, done by James Earl Jones. And you've just got all these amazing effects and the music and the score. And it immerses you into the world of Indiana Jones and makes you feel like you are the adventurer that you've always wanted to be. And granted, very soon, they're going to be doing some upgrades on it. But even so, just some upgrades they've done where they've added more lights, more sounds. I truly love this attraction, and probably my favorite part is like when you're going down the hallway where the car stalls and then all the spears come at you. When I was a little kid, I would be ducking, actually thinking they were going to hit me, and so I love Indiana Jones Adventure, and I cannot wait to go on it again.
Well, you've lived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
You didn't die on
That I
board,
have.
thank goodness. And Indiana Jones certainly tops many of our lists, I think.
It really does, yeah.
As one of the greatest attractions Disneyland has ever done. I don't think I would argue with anything on that list.
No, definitely not.
I see all the
I
reasons.
love the Storybook Canal too. I was like, oh, that is a good one. I like riding it at night and like Casey Jr.
Yeah.
And
Love
often
that
overlooked,
choo-choo
as I
train at
mentioned.
night.
Yeah.
So cute.
So
I love it.
underrated, and one I often forget about until I walk by and go, oh, I got to get on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just don't like being in the cages, but
Right, sure.
it's such a fun ride, and everybody just doesn't even think about it.
It's a special one.
Yeah.
So run down that top 3 for us one more time, Garrett. What was it?
Sorry, let me.
I'll get
Number
your
3.
cards.
Number 3, we have Storybook Land Canals. Number 2, you have Pirates of the Caribbean, and number 1, Indiana Jones Adventure.
That rounds out Garrett's top 3 favorite Disneyland park attractions. There's plenty more. Kingdom Report Live straight ahead. Don't you go anywhere.
Hey, Kingdom Team, do you need more magic in your life? We understand, which is why we connect you to more of what makes you happy 3 times a week. Catch our theme park coverage, vlogs, and reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And experience the Kingdom Report Live, streaming every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, crafted with you in mind. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe and activate notifications at The Kingdom Report on YouTube. And catch every update throughout the week at Kingdom Report Live on social media. See you there!
We're ready to do it or ditch it. Today is all about Disney's Hollywood Studios and, more specifically, Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios. We ran a poll of the Kingdom Report team, that's you, both on our Facebook and Instagram pages, and we went ahead and asked you, is Muppet Vision 3D worth your Hollywood Studios time? The results, interesting. I will say with Facebook, 80% say, yeah, no, it's totally worth our time. 20% saying, And then over on Instagram, yeses had 61%. And you see no's with 39 there. Instagram always seems to be a little bit different. And it's fascinating to me because I would assume it's the same audience on both platforms. So I don't really know why it goes one way or the other. But guys, when it comes to Muppet Vision 3D and this attraction that's been around for several decades at this point, is it a do it or ditch it in your mind, Katrina?
Do it. I like Sweetums.
Yeah.
I like when he runs out. He's cute. And then, but I think it's just, if you've never done it before, I think you should. It's something interesting. I love the Muppets. Like the Muppets I've seen since I was a child, so I always have that little sweet spot. I used to watch them every night at Friday, like on Friday nights or whatever, when they used to have their little show. So I think people should watch it. And then I know there's like one particular thing that you love about the Muppets 3D that you've been obsessed about. No? Okay.
Clearly not.
Donald's butt. God.
That's not the same show.
Oh, that's not Donald's butt. Oh my God, I'm thinking of Philhar Magic. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. No,
So, should we
anyway, but
revise
I'm
your
just
decision
kidding.
here?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I still love it.
Like Donald Duck's not even in that show.
Saturday.
God.
I'm tired. There's things
Wow.
happening in life. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, but I do love Sweetums when he runs out and stuff. But I think it's really cute. And then the only thing I don't like about it is like the little cartoon character. There's like
Waldo.
that. Yeah.
The
and
spirit of 3D.
the spirit of 3D, I was like, but I think if you're a child, like it's something good for a child to watch because it keeps them active. And then I love the little guys sitting up there with the old guys.
Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah. You know, I love them because they're always just so silly and so funny. So I would say do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should do it. I don't think there's not a lot taking your attention in Hollywood Studios.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I just go do it because it's honestly a great look back into the old like I'm pretty sure Jim Henson. I don't know actually. Now that I think about it, did Jim Henson help work on this?
Yeah, it was one of his last projects.
Right.
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can kind of feel the vibe in there of the old kind of stylings of Jim Henson, and it's got kind of even at the very end. One of my favorite moments is when the fire truck kind of breaks through the doorway or the brick wall or whatever, and you look out into the crowd and everything, and you can see very old like Mickey balloons from the 90s and stuff like that, and just so it's just kind of brings me back to I saw it when I was a young kid, so I love it, and it has so many great jokes in it. Even the pre-show, I actually think it's worth it to go see the pre-show.
Pre-show's a lot of fun
because they do this fun thing where like the pre-show takes place on 3 different television screens, and so the characters will run back and forth between these different screens, and there's some pretty good jokes in there. There's I don't even want to spoil the best ones, but there's some people dressing up as Mickey Mouse and stuff. It's really funny, and it just is a heartwarming thing. And it's speaking of like Donald Duck's butt, it may not be in that show, but I do love how even the Swedish Chef is in the back, and you can turn around and see the Swedish Chef. I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Muppets immersion. Yeah.
So the Penguin Orchestra. I mean, come on now.
There's nothing like it.
People need more Muppets in their life.
Yeah. They do.
It's
and
even underrated.
Even though it's been removed from California Adventure.
Don't even get me started.
It's nice to still have it as an
option. I'm glad PhilharMagic is here, but at least there's like some show that gets some kids excited and immersive instead of like promos and like the High School Musical and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I'm glad it's actually being utilized for like the good and for like kids and stuff so they can see things.
But at the same time, maybe that's how we get things like High School Musical the musical in Tomorrowland.
I think that was just for their own sake because I'm going to say that they thought it was going to be a flop, so they're just trying to push it Disney Plus. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe that's not it, and they're trying to bring, I guess, maybe more little kids.
I would love to see their numbers. Anyway,
I would love to see their numbers on the High School the Musical.
Well, let's take this question on out to our Walt Disney World reporter, Mr. Garrett Hassel, whose chestnuts are clearly roasting by an open fire. Garrett, tell us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that sounds very...
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a simple expression of the season, Katrina.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Garrett, do it or ditch it, man. Muppet Vision 3D.
Muppet Vision 3D. I'm doing it. I love it. The first time I saw it was at California Adventure, and I love it. I think it's a cute show. And here out at Disney World, it doesn't get a whole lot of love. Like it'll have a good audience, but it's a quick thing. If it's raining, go in there, watch the show, sit back, relax. For me, the best part of the show, other than the Swedish Chef that Tyler said, like with his actual Swedish language, is I love Sam Eagle's musical number, A Salute to All Nations, but mostly America.
A glorious 3-hour finale.
You know what? That is a great joke that I feel like a lot of people just kind of brush over. Like when he says, and mostly America, it's like, I feel like that's like the most hilarious part of the whole show. You're right. You're 100% correct.
That section moves awfully quick. And so, if you're not paying attention, you miss it. It's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I it's a cute show. It really is cute. I love how Sweetums comes out, looks around, and you have lights going everywhere. But it's a cheesy show. It's a corny show. It's got some terrible jokes in there, which I personally love. And who doesn't love the Muppets? Actually, before I came out to visit my lovely girlfriend, I on the airplane watched Muppets Treasure Island, which I think is a absolutely wonderful movie. Yeah. And so I'm doing it as much as I can. It's a nice show. It's only 15 minutes, and then afterward you get to walk around. You can go eat at Pizza Rizzo's out in Hollywood Studios and just hang out.
Definitely wouldn't recommend that, but yeah. If you've ever eaten there, there's places where you can save your money and go elsewhere. And
there's a superior Italian place literally right next door. Literally, Mama Melrose is right next door, and it's much better. So.
But thank you for the recommendation, Garrett. You're right. If you want to keep it themed, you can walk right on over to Pizza Rizzo and maybe buy something prepackaged and not necessarily what they call pizza there. Curt, you've been out to Hollywood Studios yourself. Tell us, or do it or ditch it.
You got to do it. I love Muppets. I love everything Muppets. I feel like they're really underutilized. I would like to see more Muppet-themed stuff.
I couldn't agree more.
The little show they had, I don't know if they still have it at the Magic Kingdom.
They just got rid of it.
It's heartbreaking because I really loved that show too.
Yeah.
but anything Muppets, you got to do for me.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a little bit more representation, and you're right. I mean, with the round of entertainment cuts that just swept through the parks, I mean, we lost, for anybody that hadn't seen it, because I hadn't been there for a very long time, at Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square, you had the Muppets basically retelling the story of America and the founding, and it's hilarious, especially with Sam Eagle being such a critical part of that show. So crushing to see that also
we
was
missed it by
eliminated.
like 2 days when we came out.
No!
And I was like, no!
And that show was phenomenal too, because it was great to see them actually live. Like you think about it all the time. The only time you ever see the Muppets is when they're on TV or some screen. But actually seeing people perform with the Muppets in real life, I could see it.
Yeah.
It's sad that it's gone.
Yeah. Well, Garrett, we'll give you the last word on this, on the Do It or Ditch It segment. Anything else you'd like to share when it comes to Muppet Vision 3D?
When it comes to Muppet Vision 3D, it makes you feel like a child again. It makes you laugh. It makes you realize that life isn't so bad. Like whether it's seeing Miss Piggy get pulled on a water ski, or you see a concert going terribly wrong, or you just see the Swedish Chef going crazy. I think it's a necessary show, and I would love it if you could see Muppets more in the parks, whether it be in a parade in some way, or even just like maybe character meet and greet. I don't know how possible that is, but I think that would be great. I love me some drama between Kermit and Miss Piggy.
You know, and I know I just said I'll give you a last word, but something that just popped into my head from the show that I wanted to share with everybody. If you've never noticed before, you know, Sweetums, who comes into the theater at the end to say, stop the projector, stop the movie. It's sort of a real life, live action character coming into the theater with you every show. There is a point where Sweetums is in the theater and then also on screen. And I would suggest everybody look for that the next time they're at Hollywood Studios. There is a moment where both of them are represented. I think it was a continuity error. No one realized it, and he's still in the theater today and also on screen at the same time. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that is Do It or Ditch It, where clearly the do-its have it when it comes to Muppet Vision 3D. It's time for the one thing. It is the week of gratitude, where we are giving thanks for so much in our lives, and we figured why not talk a little bit about what we are giving thanks for when it comes to a Disney-related item, a Disney-related thing from 2019. Guys, what are you giving thanks for something Disney-related this year?
You want to go first?
Honestly, I have no. You go first.
I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to say Disney Plus for all the cool like Imagineering shows and that one day that's going to come out to actually see all the hard workers that actually bring Disneyland to life and then keep the legacy going with Walt Disney. So I want to say, I guess that'll be my one thing.
Disney Plus. Yeah, no, I can totally see that, and certainly something that will no doubt be giving to us for years to come.
Yeah, I can't wait I want more Imagineering, and I can't wait for one day, but we just watched the last one, and I'm just like, wait, that's it? I need more.
Yeah, kick it up a notch. Tyler, anything you're grateful for Disney-related?
Baby Yoda. I'm just kidding.
You know, I was gonna. It's funny that you already said Disney Plus and everything, but I was thinking of going with The Mandalorian actually, and I know that's also Disney Plus, but
No, but that's fine.
I say that because I feel like, and I've seen the first 3 episodes now, and I just feel like they get it. They're finally understanding like the blend they need to make of old and new, and so they are just creating a new series that feels so much like everything that I loved of the original 3 movies. And I don't want to ruin too much about the Mandalorian for people who haven't seen it, but like all the Jawa stuff in like episode 2 and everything, I was just like, they get it now. Like Jon Favreau, he's leading this in such a great way.
Thanks to Jon Favreau.
Maybe I shouldn't even say
for him.
Maybe I shouldn't say the Mandalorian. Maybe I should say Jon Favreau, like, because I mean,
the chef.
The chef.
Yeah.
Because it's just been a great ride so far. And I'm not like the biggest Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars, but when they were talking about the Mandalorian, I wasn't really that interested.
Sure.
But seeing it and getting through that first episode, it was like, oh wow, actually this has the feel that I need. This is exactly what I want. It's a cowboy in space, like again, like, and that's what I want, and that's what they did.
The music does have that cool Western vibe to it.
It really does. And it really, it's funny. You go into a Star Wars thing thinking like, oh, well, there's no like John Williams music or whatever, but this is one of those projects that has gotten me to understand that you don't need John Williams every time. He's great. He's great. Don't get me wrong, but people can create their own, compositions that also evoke the Star Wars feeling and new feelings as well. So
they make him so real, like so relatable, because like he's not like that perfect bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Like he gets trampled over and gets thrown against a rock, and like there was like a little Indiana Jones move that he did in like the second episode. But he seems more real and like relatable, which I actually appreciate.
So Jon Favreau or The Mandalorian? What are we more thankful for here? Critical.
He's the creator.
Critical.
I guess I have to go. I guess I actually probably should have to go Jon Favreau, because I don't have any insight or anything, but I would have to assume he's going to be a major player in the next Star Wars movies that come out. And if that's any sign, if Mandalorian is any sign that we're going to get some good stuff in the future, because honestly, I'm at the point where I'm kind of like, no, stop making the movies. Like, just let it breathe a little.
Yeah.
But seeing Mandalorian, hearing Jon Favreau, doing all this great stuff, man, maybe they can do it. Maybe we can live in a future where we can forget about Solo.
Sure.
I'm excited for Star Wars, and I haven't been for a while. So.
Well, I think well said, and a lot of people share that sentiment. We go to Garrett now, our Walt Disney World correspondent, who's jumping some jingle bells there in an undisclosed location. Garrett, tell us, when it comes to one Disney-related thing that you are thankful for
this entire show
year.
with your holiday jokes. Oh my gosh, they get me. So
it's a seasonal
I'm going
reference.
to.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. So I'm going with the most. I don't know if it's cheesy, but the most Disney related thing that I'm thankful for is actually Walt Disney. He not only is a phenomenal man that created the empire that Disney is today, but to me, he's a personal hero. When times were down and people told him no, he didn't give up and quit. And he's spoken a lot to me in my personal journey through life. So for me, I am most thankful for Walt Disney and everything he has done in the creation of a simple mouse that has touched the lives of billions of people, to what the parks have done, especially like Disneyland. Like that made me want to be a cast member and made me want to be a part of this show. So thank you, Walt, for everything you do, and continue to watch over the cast members that you have and the billions of people that love your stuff. So thank you, Walt.
Even here in 2019, his legacy continues to give on, that's for sure. And Curt, do you have any time to think about this? One Disney-related thing that you are most grateful for this year?
Yes, my annual pass.
No.
I like to be able to go to Disneyland all the
Yeah.
time.
Whenever you want.
Whenever I want. It's a little more selfish, but I like to experience Disneyland.
20%
Yes.
discount, free
Yes.
parking. Woo!
Attaboy.
And we didn't talk about it, but they got a new annual pass design.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
did.
That's
Oh.
another thing I was about to say. I'm thankful for that as well, because
Yeah.
I did not like the old design.
The new one's a lot better.
The new one's
definitely.
now now cohesive with Disney Worlds, right? They look exactly the same.
They look like the magnets they give at Disney
Yeah.
World. Yes.
Sounds quite elegant.
We don't
Can't
get
wait
the
to see it.
magnets here in California, but
We get different magnets.
we get buttons.
There's a trade-off. We have the superior property.
That's right.
Those are fighting words for some people. We have the
I like
superior
Original
property.
property.
I like that you just gave a little pause at the end of that one. You're like,
I don't know. Sure seems like it could be accurate. I don't know. Fight me on that one.
Mickey Mouse, how did you get in here?
At any rate, I would say that the one thing that I'm grateful for when it comes to sort of 2019, something Disney related, probably has to be the ongoing, we referenced it here today on our live show, the Project Stardust at Disneyland Resort. And for anybody that doesn't understand what that is, it's Disneyland Resort's sort of commitment to expanding existing areas, making everything a little bit more comfortable, making the flow a lot better. So sort of investing in the infrastructure that should have been invested in a long time ago is finally being sort of reworked and looked at and under the knife. I would say one of the biggest things that has come out of this that's hugely beneficial is the Pixar Pals parking structure that has been added in addition to the Mickey and Friends.
Pedestrian
I should have said
bridge.
that. That's actually my number one Disney thing for 2019. Wow.
Yeah,
Anyway.
super grateful
Yeah.
to now have so much more in our car culture of California, so much more parking added to this list, and to be able to move in the parks a lot easier. You know, some of these things we've talked about in past broadcasts where, you know, we reference the new seating areas around like Bengal Barbecue and Adventureland that used to be stores, and you don't remove profit centers, you know, for the sake of comfort unless you really do care about that guest experience. And every once in a while we're reminded that Disney does, in many cases, care about that guest experience, and so they'll make these sort of beneficial contributions to the overall guest experience where you think, thank you for doing that.
The
So
smallest things like the curbs.
yeah,
Getting rid of the curbs.
yeah. Lowering those
Yeah.
curbs, making them
Making
smooth
them-
and flush, and
The smallest little things make us so grateful.
nice to no longer see anybody in a wheelchair or ECB go dumping off a curb
Oh
like
my
they
gosh,
used to.
I think I've seen like that one, or someone not really paying attention and then like falling.
It's so sad, and it happens more often. I often think of, you know, the parents with the strollers more than anything. I mean,
But it's just
they
really crowded
struggle.
and you don't really see in front of you a lot. So
Sure.
then you may not notice that person stepping down. Then you just start, and then you just like go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
That's
side
nice.
note, this has nothing to do with anything. I guess it has something to do with this, but the tracks, you know, I've always wondered, are they ever worried about people breaking their ankle in the in the trolley tracks and stuff like that? I'm kind of still shocked that they
My mom
are
twisted
still
her
there.
ankle
Like,
in one of the tracks. And
I
was like,
also, I think
here you go.
everybody at one point is like dip their ankle into
Yeah.
that darn track.
I like make
Yeah.
a purpose to like not get near the tracks, and I feel so sorry for the dancers. I'm like,
Yeah.
please don't trip, please don't trip.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Well, that is the one thing that we are grateful for, Disney related, from 2019. We are so grateful to have you as our audience and wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Guys, as we close things out here, just wanted to ask, anything coming up at attractionfaction.net we should know about?
well, our next vlog that's going to come out should be about more holiday business. We're going to be trying to watch the fireworks coming up here and enjoying that. And so hopefully we'll get that out pretty soon. And then also we're going to be doing some stuff at Universal Studios coming up. Grinchmas is starting next weekend. So, or actually they're calling it the holidays at Universal, I guess. Now it's not just Grinchmas anymore because now they have the Wizarding World as well. It's going to be all Christmasified. Is that a word?
is really-
Christmasified?
Christmasified.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah, we're going to be doing those things over the next couple days here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah, I'm excited.
Well, looking forward to it. Can't wait to stop on by attractionfaction.net to check all that out. Garrett, just one last jump on over to you here. Any plans for Thanksgiving? Doing anything special?
Working, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that.
Being in the hospitality industry, you do not get the opportunity to essentially go home and visit family. What stinks, but I think I'll be hanging out with my best friend. He's like a brother to me. Yeah, he truly is.
That means a
So
lot.
I might be
Thank
hanging
you.
out with him.
I wasn't going to be in Florida this week,
Yeah.
but I appreciate that. Thank you.
But yeah, I'll just be working. Thinking I might go to the parks and run around just because I can.
Yeah.
So I'll
Eat
do
some
that.
festival
I'll hang out at
holiday
Disney.
foods for me.
I'll embrace all the love.
There you go. Feel that love like a turkey feels its stuffing. Bless you, sir. Well, a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody that has been able to join us here today. And remember, Walt Disney's legacy only lives on because of people like you and me. So thank you for that as well. We will see you right here next week, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for Kingdom Report Live.